All right, there's a great saying called just because you can doesn't mean you should. So let's look at cops who are taking people down with use of force on incidents where they're lawfully allowed to. Doesn't mean they should, right? I'm Dominic Izzo. I'm a former cop out here in the Chicago area, northwest suburbs of Chicago. This channel is all about law enforcement. It's pro-law enforcement, but it doesn't mean I'm pro-cop. Sadly, I think that there's a lot of bad apples out there, and those bad apples have spoiled the orchard. We need to wind up bridging the gap between the good cops, getting their job back on track, following the Constitution, knowing what their job is. I mean, I've talked about this so many damn times. It's so damn disappointing. It's just seeing the cops out there who have no idea what their job is. So I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and educate as best as possible. That being said, got to educate the public too. A lot of you guys have no idea why cops do things the way that they do. And then sadly, the worst part is that you want police to be the hired dumb muscle to clean up the mess you make in your own families. And this is a perfect example. But before we begin, don't forget to support me. Buy my book, Before the Badge, Everything You Need to Know Before You Become a Cop. It's got the stories of my career, the things that I think that law enforcement need to wind up fixing on. If you are someone who is on the fence about supporting police, you're going to see some very passionate issues about police corruption, my ideals for what this is and how to wind up bridging the gap as well. And if you are a Blue Line supporter, get this book for somebody that is either a cop or going into the academy, because you know what? It's going to get their head out of their ass and say, hey, you know what? You're part of something that needs to be held to the highest standard out there. All right, here we go. Also, don't forget to join us live. Every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, here on the channel, we wind up doing podcast interview formats. I had on Sean Paul Reyes from Long Island Audit last week. If you need to see the full version, the link will be in the description here for the video. Hit like, hit subscribe, comment below what you guys want to see, and a big thank you to all of you who have been sending me videos to officerdominicizzo@gmail.com. I have got 6 months supply worth of videos to go over, and I'm looking forward to doing that with you. So let's talk about this for a second. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? I'm going to play this video. We're going to watch it together, and then I'm going to explain what I think. Thanks for BJJ Cops over on Instagram for putting this up. I have seen it elsewhere, but this is from BJJ Cops. I have had conversations many times with this person who runs this. I do not do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm actually a Wing Chun expert and a folk-style wrestling wrestler and wrestling coach. So I think I'm superior. That's just me because of my ego. But if you have any interest in BJJ and you're in law enforcement, make sure you check out BJJ Cops. All right, so let's watch this together, and yeah, we'll break this down afterwards, and I will gladly remove myself so you guys can see.
Put your hands behind your back.
Yeah, I live here. You don't got. Okay, what you walking up on me like that for? What's up?
What's your address?
Take that vest off. Come on.
Take that vest off for me.
Come on. Take that vest off. You know. Come on. Take that shit off. Let's get it. Let's get it, man. What's up? What's up?
Do me a favor.
Take that shit off. Take that shit off.
Do me a favor.
Like you're not a bitch. Take that shit off. Come on. Not take that shit off. Let's get it.
Where do you live?
Your partner here like you're gonna do something. You ain't gonna do shit.
Where do you live, man?
I live right here. There ain't nothing about it.
What's your address?
Do something about it.
Huh?
How about that? Take your shit off and do something about it. Like I won't.
Like you what? Like you want what?
I ain't gonna say nothing on that camera.
What do you gotta do?
Take that off.
What do you
Take it off. Let me see.
Okay, take it off. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let me get your ID.
You ain't gonna get shit.
Okay.
Take it off and you see. Well, what you laughing for? I'm writing your shit. Take it off.
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Stop resisting. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hand behind your back. I'm a minder. So why'd you get in my face? What, you gonna hit me? Huh?
All right, let's break this down together. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Listen, I want to point this out to the beginning for the public. I know that it feels good. I understand that and I accept that. I do want the highest standard possible for law enforcement, and that's their character. I'm faulting the cop in this one, and I will explain why. Most of you out there who have seen me comment on this before in a short, depending upon the platform, if it's an Instagram platform, you guys defend the cop. If it was a YouTube platform, you guys defend the subject in there. The subject may have been lawfully wrong to this fraction, right? This fraction. The cop was wrong based on the professionalism, but he still is protected by the abilities of his job. What do I mean by that? We have to start to wonder, what's the cop there for in the first place? And I have no other information to this video aside from what you just saw. So let's assume, and I know that's the worst thing to do, that the cop was called there because of a noise complaint or teens loitering and all this stuff. A lot of people in the comment section say the kid had an attitude. Why didn't the kid just give the cop his identification? All this stuff. A couple different things. Number one, does the kid have to? And I don't know in this case. I don't know if the kid broke a law that said he was required to give the police officer his ID. Keep in mind, cops can request all the time. All the time. They can ask you. They can't order you if it's not a probable cause that they lawfully have to demand your ID, right? Because then it becomes a seizure. So number one, the first thing is, I don't know why the cop was there. I've dealt with plenty of juveniles or asshats, and you're like, oh my God, whatever, blah, blah. And it's all the way you talk to them. So when it gets to the point of he's a little snot-nosed minor, whatever it is, I think in the video, people told me he's 20 years old. So it's 18, I believe, 18 and over is how you're charged as an adult. I believe 21 and under, still a minor, depending upon the state as well, too. When it comes down to this, the question has to be asked, was the force lawful? And everyone is they're gonna wind up talking about the fact of the teen and his actions, and we'll review that here. This is the beginning of the video. Cop shows up, and he's whatever, noise complaint, loitering complaint, whatever it is. And I want to hear what the cop says about the ID. That's what I want to hear first.
Okay, what you walking up on me like that for? What's up?
What's your address?
Take that vest off.
What's your address? Cop can ask it. He can ask it. What's your address? Let me have your address, right? When you say it like that, that is technically an order. Hey, let me have your address. But you can also be questioning as well, too. The gray area of this is so important to understand why I'm pro law enforcement, but honestly, you should never talk to the police. Remember, I say this all the time. Fish only get caught when their mouths are open. Cops are asking questions to further their investigation. They're not doing it to help you. And I don't care who says what. Well, the police are there to help you. Then call your lawyer and have your lawyer sit with you anytime you talk to the police if you really think that they're there to help you and you believe in them helping you, right? So right now he's asking for his ID. I don't know if he has to lawfully turn it over because I don't know if he's investigating a crime right now or if this kid is being lawfully detained.
Take that vest off for him.
So what the kid is doing is called posturing, right? That's what it is. Could he be getting ready to throw a punch? Could he? 100%, dude. 100%. All that stuff is possible. The cop should be in what's called yellow right now. The cop is like, damn, I could be taking a punch from this kid. I need to be more aware. I need to be alert and see what happens.
Come on, take that vest off. Come on, take that shit off. Let's get it. Let's get it, man. What's up? What's up? Take that shit off. Take that shit off. You laughing like you're not a bitch. Like you're not a bitch. Take that shit off. Come on, not take that shit off. Let's get it.
Where do you live?
Your partner here, like you're gonna.
You ask him again, where do you live? You can ask him. But if the kid's not being detained, kid doesn't have to say anything. Fifth Amendment, don't have to self-incriminate. Don't say shit. Well, I'm going to charge him with obstruction. Charge him then. I don't care. So at one point, a lot of us, myself included, it was, we just kind of like call it that you get the blinders on television. I'm going to get that son of a bitch. It didn't matter. Like if you wanted somebody's address and they wouldn't give it to you, now the pride swelled up, right? You're going to submit to my authority. And I'm going to get that son of a bitch address. I did. Oh shit. It's coming to me now. What a waste of time. Someone else had a DUI and they couldn't get the guy's address, right? The address was incorrect and they wanted on the driver's license, this and that. I remember it took 2 hours. It took 2 hours of me lying. I never promised him anything. Never promised him anything. That's the only thing you can't do. I lied for 2 hours to get him to wind up, what do you call it? To signing over his ID or his address. And how I did it, after it hit me, as I said, here, you know what? Here's a formal complaint. You can write to the chief of police about my conduct, my officer's conduct. Fill out your name, your address, your phone number, write the complaint. So, it was like, holy shit, we had nothing better to do. And was it that important? I get his address? No, it was a fucking ego thing. And yes, he wrote his address down. And I went, thank you, took it away and walked away. So when it comes down to this is ego, right? So the point of breaking down the minutia in all this is when we get to the why the cop responded physically the way that they did, we have to break down what was the cop thinking or how was his emotions in that context. So already he's getting kind of frustrated because this little snot-nosed kid, this punk, will not comply with what he wants done. Don't know if he can lawfully order him, but it doesn't mean he's not going to do it anyways.
Do something. You ain't gonna do shit.
Where do you live, man?
I live right here. There ain't nothing about
What's
it.
your address?
Do something about it.
Huh?
How about that? Take your shit off and do something about it. You, like I won't.
Like you what? Like you want what?
I ain't gonna say nothing on it.
Right there, when you engage like that, the cop loses composure. The cop is frustrated. Like you won't what? This is where it turns from, if you had just kept your mouth shut and done your job, you could have more support from people like me by saying, yes, that kid had lawful force used on him, not do what the public does and say that kid deserved it. The second you as the public insert that line saying that a member of society deserved it, you're destroying the foundations of what law enforcement is. And I go, oh, well, that's a load of shit. No, it's because you're idiot parents. You are failed parents who allowed this juvenile to get to this point, which again, it's not illegal. The kid could be mouthy. The kid could be disrespectful. The cop is not in fear of his safety. He's not. You can clearly see how much bigger he is than this kid. Kid folds his arms. I teach defensive tactics. I'm a defensive tactics expert. You can 100% say that it's a great tactic to fold your arms because you could fly them forward, back fist, elbow, or back fist, or an elbow, whatever you want to do to attack. Both arms shoot out. Doesn't make a damn bit of difference. It's all how you articulate. Are you guys kind of understanding that yet? That law enforcement, in the end result, is creative writing. You take the facts and the evidence, and you spin the story to make sure that the judge and jury hear what you want. And the reason that most people lose in any cases like this is because they're not able to articulate the facts as well as cops are. When this moves forward, if you look, here's where I don't support this cop as well either. He's bigger than him, longer reach, longer arms, and then he smiles at his partner. Smiles at his partner. The use of force can be articulated the second that this kid looks at his partner, takes a step forward. That's it. Oh, he took an aggressive step towards me. And what does the cop do? Boom. That kid is 130 pounds, maybe. Maybe. And you're going to take him down for what? It went from, and I keep telling you guys this, shut up when you deal with the police because now you're seeing why. If the cop had no reason, noise complaint, nosy Karen across the way doesn't like the fact that there's 10 teens in her parking lot. They're there all the time, just eating Taco Bell, drinking Mountain Dew, making a lot of noise. It's clearly still early evening. It's not dark yet. What law are these kids breaking? Loitering? What if the kid lives there? He could stay there, right? So the cop has nothing. We're assuming, right? Hey, where do you live? Kid doesn't have to give him his ID. Cop's ego is getting swelled up. Where did you have your ID on you? Kid, do something about it. Take your vest off. Okay, you're going to charge a kid for making a threat like that? Do something about it. Do something about it. There was no threat. It was if you write that in a statement and there's no body camera, subject told RO, do something about it. Take that vest off. Okay, well, shit, in those words alone, they're not threatening. They're just suggestive. The second, subject took a stance toward it's the wording. Subject took an aggressive stance towards RO, responding officer. There you go, use of force. I implemented a arm lock and foot sweep to put subject on the floor and then repeated over and over, sir, stop resisting, which as we all know, once the human body starts going into a position where it's got to defend himself, it's fight or flight. You cannot naturally relax when a grown man or two has their weight on you and they're trying to take you into custody. But again, what was the point of this? It was ego. The problem I have is the citizens. That's the biggest problem I have. You guys in the comments section are glad that this happens because that kid needs to be taught a lesson. Let's break down the elements here. What law did he break? I don't know. Loitering? Hey, go home, man. It's loitering. Otherwise, I got to arrest you. Okay, well, I'm not going to go home. Okay, well, now I'm going to arrest you. Great. What did the cop have to further an investigation? Was the cop's ego involved in this? It escalated to the point the cop clearly wasn't in fear for his safety. Clearly wasn't. Could the cop have taken a step backwards? Could the cop taken a step backwards and gain distance so the kid wouldn't have hit him? Hey, dude, don't step towards me again, man. Otherwise, I'm taking you in custody. The problem that we massively have is you parents who sadly, it's Child Protective Services have ruined you because you're too afraid to discipline your kids. The kids turn out like this. There's no criminal statute that prevents your children from being assholes. They can. But once you as parents start saying, he needs a lesson being taught to him. Yeah, that kid effed around and he found out. This is where the police start turning into the door staff at the bar that you love seeing the drunk guy get dragged out. This is where the arm of the police turns into the hired dumb muscle. And sadly, you think that they're not going to do this to you, right? So we have that gray area. Who's in the wrong here? Man, the kid. I don't see any problem. Would I arrest this kid? No, dude. No, I wouldn't arrest this kid. It's stupid. It's like, dude, man, you're wasting my time. Go home. But if you need your ego fed and you're one of those cops who actually is waiting for somebody to go hands on with somebody, then this is exactly what you look for. The smile told me everything. That once that cop looked at his partner and smiled, he knew what he was going to do. He was not in fear for his safety. He did not fear being hit by the kid. The kid's arms were crossed. You could flat out say the kid was in a position where he knew, I'm not going to do anything. The kid was posturing. It's what cats do to blow up their backs to make themselves look bigger so that predators don't attack them. This kid was posturing. He was acting as if the cop would not do anything towards him, which the cop should not have. But the second the kid took that half a step forward, well, there's articulation and facts and evidence. And this is why I keep telling you guys, you have no idea how everything you do is designed. It's designed to allow the police to wind up finding a reason to wind up going hands-on with you or charging you, period. All right, let's take a look at another one. It's along the same aspect of it, too. I've played this one before, and I've reviewed this one before. I believe this is a, dash cam captures man body slammed by Paulding County Sheriff's Department. I've reviewed this one before, but I want to talk about this because it's the same thing. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. I do not know the circumstances of this. The cop in this video says that this person matches the description of people who are breaking into cars. Is that probable cause? No. Is that reasonable suspicion? Sure. But you have to have the totality of the circumstances. If this is the middle of the day, there's a lot of foot traffic going on, and somebody calls up and says, there's a guy in a black hooded sweatshirt, breaking into cars. That doesn't make sense, right? And your tactics would change. I wouldn't roll up on a guy at 2:00 in the afternoon and go, hey, you're breaking into cars. Or I would call, hey, just so you know, Karen back there called 911, said she thinks you're breaking into cars. Can I ask what you're doing? Right? I don't have any right to seize him or anything. Can I ask what you're doing? And hopefully somebody will say, yeah, I'm putting flyers on cars for a business I have. Okay, great. At night, a little bit different. Oh, I don't know what time this is on this, but what is somebody doing out at night and walking on the middle of the road with no sidewalks? And doesn't mean they can't, but your tactics change a little bit. And you're like, hey, just to let you know, somebody's calling in about somebody breaking cars. They match your description. I have to do my job. I have to do an investigation. It's all how you articulate and you talk to people as well too. Let's play this one.
See your hands. Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands.
One of the biggest things, too, is it's called unaddressed behaviors, condoned behavior. I am somebody, and I believe in, let me see your hands. The reason being is it doesn't take any fraction of time to just produce your hands from nothing into a gun pointing at you. And I know that the percentage is very low, but it's still not worth risking, right? I want to know where your hands are. End of story. So I'm not one of those people who's like, well, you're going to defend officer safety for somebody's hands being in their pockets. Yeah, I am. That shit I will. Hey, do me a favor. Take your hands out of your pockets. Or if they're in their pockets, leave them in your pockets. Do not take them out, because now I'm going to wind up just patting you down. I'm not going to search you. I'm going to pat you down because I have no lawful reason to search you. I'm going to pat your clothing down to make sure that I don't feel like a screwdriver or a knife or a pistol or anything else.
Get your hands out of your pockets. Turn up your change by a bit.
All right, immediately when you do that, turn around, put your hands behind your back. Again, if this guy is investigating a lawful crime, again, just based on the word of a citizen, I don't know. I don't think I would go that far. If there's any other observation, 2 or 3 calls, hey, there's a guy in a dark hooded sweatshirt, longer brown hair. I watched him go into, I've got whatever. If there's more evidence, then it's, yeah, all right, I'm going to detain you. Putting the hand behind the back also doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go into handcuffs. For me, there's an anatomical wrist block position where you hold their hand into place, causing no pain compliance at all. You just hold it, and it locks up the position in the arm to where if they do move, then they're going to cause self-pain. And it's like, okay, I'm just going to pat you down. You're holding it there so they don't have 2 hands. You have one hand on one. It eliminates one of their weapons, their hands, and then you just pat them down. We're going to continue this.
Excuse me.
You're being detained, bud. Don't take your backpack off. Take your backpack off.
Excuse me. What am I doing?
Take your backpack off.
Now, is he resisting at this time? If he has lawful orders given to him, right? Because in this video, I'm giving a little bit more siding to the cop, right? Not the last one, this one. This one, circumstances, I'm saying maybe if he's got a lawful order reason to be there, if this guy is on, walking around cars, if somebody's observed it, let's say that there's 100% lawful reason that this guy can be searched, detained, patted down, all this. The more he's questioning the cop, yeah, let's play devil's advocate. Well, he's just questioning the cop. He could be stalling for time too. He could be thinking, oh, I'm going to wait for the cop to relax. I'm going to run. All this stuff, right? And I know that in the comment section, I want you just to hold on a little bit. I want you to wait until I'm done with this before you fully comment on, oh, this bootleg, just give me a second.
Can you explain what this is
Before
for?
you go on the ground, take your backpack off.
I'm going to get picked up.
All right, just let him know. Before you go on the ground, take your backpack off. The cop wants his backpack off. If the guy's not going to do it, leave the backpack on. As long as his arms are controlled, you don't have to worry about him going into the backpack. Plus, what's he going to do? Reach behind him to sit there and get in the backpack? Just if it's not going to do it and it's going to cause the least amount of stress to both parties, just leave it.
For work.
Come on. Since we want to play this game.
Now you start to lose me. And again, remember, I've done this stuff too. Since you want to play this game, now you see that it's personal. And this is where things have to massively change. It's not personal, bud. It's your profession that you chose. You can articulate a million different ways too. Once the guy tenses up, technically it's resisting, right? And you're not offering him any type of means or security to relax enough so there's no resisting. But your demeanor came up with a sense of urgency immediately to attack him. So, I mean, does it mean you have to be nice to him? No, it doesn't. But there's more than one way to skin a cat, right?
Breaking anyone's foot.
All right, we'll go back to
Put
that.
your hands behind your back before you end up on the ground.
I'm trying to drop my phone. Hello? Are you telling me what this is about?
You're being detained for a minute. You're matching the description of someone trying to break into people's cars.
I'm not breaking anyone's foot.
All right, there we go on that one, right? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. In this, yeah, the cop has every lawful authority to take this subject into the ground because technically this guy's not complying with his orders. All right, I'll play this again, right? Remove what happened before. Right, let's play fucking normal social media here where it's like we only see a selected part of it. Let's pretend everything was good and lawful and by the book, right?
Come on. Since we want to play this game.
Let's pretend he didn't say that, right? So we do sadly know now that his intent, the cop's intent is like, cop's got an attitude problem. But let's continue.
Sir.
Put your hands behind your back.
All right, he told him, put your hands behind your back. In this situation, I would venture that it's a reasonable, lawful order. So the guy should be complying. Let's see if he complies. At the 48-second mark, he was told that. Let's see how long it takes.
This is my phone.
Put it down.
Can you tell me what's going on?
Just put your hands behind your back before you
Told him again, and what would happen?
end up on the ground.
I'm trying to drop my phone. Hello? Are you telling me what this is about?
You're being detained for a minute. You're matching the description of someone trying to break into people's cars.
I'm not breaking anyone's car.
All right, 21 seconds. 21 seconds. The guy didn't comply. 21 seconds is a long time. You don't believe me? Go get tased. See how long 5 seconds is. So the cop can, I don't like going to the ground. I like using the hood of the squad car. Press him on the hood of the squad car. One arm forward, neck shoved him down, bend him over, spread the legs, take his balance, boom. Hood of the squad car. Use the hood of the car. You got a good braced position there. Take him down the ground. Could it be punishment? No, it can't be punishment. There's no way it's punishment, is there? Let's find out.
Hands on your fucking back.
I just go to work.
You dumb bastard.
Oh my God. I just go to work.
They don't know where we are.
Help me. I just go to work.
You got that? Yeah.
I'm just going to work. Ow.
Guy, the wind knocked out of him. You dumb bastard. Yeah, that's personal. The cop went to punish him. That's what that was. So now that changes things because now we have to take the cop's state of mind into play. When you just have a report written by the police, you can't get the totality of the circumstances of what the officer did, but you sure as shit can get all that creative writing that the officer did from their point of view in the report. Thank God for body cameras and dash cams.
Ow.
I don't know.
Ow, please.
Yeah.
I'm getting picked up from work, please.
921 now.
Please help me.
Shut the fuck up. Get up.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, there you go. Do you want to violate his First Amendment?
Your
traffic pardon.
Ow. Ow.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Get up.
Ow.
We're 95 1 minute.
Ow. Ow. I'm going to work.
So we see these two situations and instances of just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? It boils back to it's twofold. You have the public. Why didn't the guy just comply? Why couldn't the kid just give his ID? Why couldn't they fuck around, find out, play stupid games, win stupid prizes? The videos on this, if the cops kept their mouths shut, if the cops didn't smile at the camera before body slamming someone, they're well within their lawful rights of using force in both of those situations. Both of them they are. But now we start to see the intent behind the police officer. Don't forget, you need intent for a crime, right? Intent in a crime like first-degree murder versus second-degree murder. You know, heat of passion versus something that was planned out, right? It's like it's the intent. The intent. So why don't we imply the intent to the same standard when it comes down to police officers? Officer, what was your intent for taking that subject down? To get them to stop resisting. We're never going to get these cops to admit, because the subject was pissing me off. You're never going to do it. But we will detain people, keep them in a room for 72 hours, no phone call to their lawyer, and we'll beat them down until they admit, man, I was just pissed at my wife. I had a bad day. I went home. I wanted to take it out on somebody. Excellent. We got a confession. But we don't do that to cops. Why is that? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And sadly, the point of this video is not to condemn the police so much. It's to condemn the public. You guys have to understand the damage you're doing when you support police punishing people just because you don't like what the person did. You still have due process. They still have their constitutional rights. They still have all this. But every time you comment, F around, find out, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. The only thing I could think of is, my God, I hope the person you love the most in life runs across a cop like this. I hope your mother leaves the grocery store She's 65 years old, got a bad knee, and some cop slams her head into the pavement because she was parked in a handicap spot over the line, didn't see it. Well, she should have known better. Should have checked her car. Should have happened. I can't wait till this happens to some of your kids because your kid did something they didn't know they shouldn't have done, and the cop had a bad day with his girlfriend, command staff, was forced to work overtime, but wanted to go out with his friends. Until we start holding cops to that highest standard possible, and you've heard me ask cops questions this all the time. I ask them on podcasts. I ask them online. Do you base your issuance of a traffic citation on the words and attitude of the driver? Of course I do. So now it's time to ask, do you base your use of force on the words and attitude of the subject you're dealing with, not just their movement? Well, they're never going to say, yes, I did. They're never going to say it because that puts them in a position of potentially being charged criminally. Guys, I hope you're enjoying these. We're going to have a lot more to break down. Don't forget to join me 9 o'clock Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern. Subscribe to the channel. Comment below what you think. Like, share this video. Don't forget to buy my book, Before the Badge, Everything You Need to Know Before You Become a Cop, available at Amazon, Words Matter Publishing, and BarnesandNoble.com. Be safe out there, and I'll see you guys in the next video.